Just interrupt us if you lose us, because the line is very quickly coming back. It's Sylvia and Roelf. We had a workshop yesterday in which we did the brainstorming, and we'll just take you through the presentation. I'll get Sylvia just to go through the first couple of slides, and then we'll talk more about the rest.
Okay, so the workshop was organized around cycling and mobility in Cape Town. And we invited a few people, mainly from Bicycle Cape Town, which is an organization that promotes the use of bicycles as a sustainable way of transport. And then we had a representative of this NGO called Ben Bikes, which promotes also the use of bicycles and import used bicycles for disadvantaged areas in Cape Town. And then we had cyclists and activists and graphic designers and industrial designers. We discussed mainly about the characteristic of Cape Town in terms of mobility and infrastructures, and especially in terms of how is the transport situation in Cape Town. The main characteristic of Cape Town is that it's not a city made for cyclists. It's not a city made which relies on public transport, but the car is the main way of transportation. And this also creates a big difference between the disadvantaged areas and the richer areas in the city. And so Cape Town is not just big streets made of cars, but it's also rural areas where the public transportation is not reliable, and where it's really difficult for people to move from those areas to the city center, especially for commuting every day. And so we discussed about streets intended not just places where to go from one point A to point B, but also as places where the street life, the street culture can occur, and where people can interact and move, and they can socialize with each other. And we talk about moving, not just, as we said, commuting, not just to reach a destination, but also to interact with each other. And then if we need to find a new way to move around the city, it's not just to build new infrastructure, but it's also to reinvent ourselves, reinvent the way of moving in the city. So we have to invent a new way of moving in the city, which means not just waiting for the infrastructure to be there, but also to find a sustainable way of going around. And we thought about creating also communities around moving and around commuting in the city, and which means sharing the same infrastructure and sharing the same vehicles and sharing the same routes and the same path. Can you go on slide 7? So moving in the city means not just it won't be no more a flow just of cars going center, but from the suburb it will be a flow of people socializing and interacting in the same environment. That's why we decided to focus on cycling, because through the bicycles it's possible to create this social interaction. And Cape Town, yes, it is big highways and it is traffic, but Cape Town is also the Cape Argus, which is the biggest race in the world, and it's also the moonlight bicycle race in the world, and it's also the Moonlight Mass, which is this event happening every month on the full moon that gathers more than 1,000 people every night. And so moving becomes a collective experience in terms of sharing the same services, sharing the same routes, and moving together on the every day. The workshop yesterday, we mainly asked, first, we were the uniqueness in Cape Town, so in terms of planning and urban planning, and in terms of community, and which are also the problems related to that. So the issues related to this division and the consequences of the apartheid, so safety issues, and also the distances that the city to go from the city center to the suburbs. It's a long distance, especially for those people who can't afford public transport. So the main challenges that we talked about moving was, first of all, the demand of low-cost mobility, because public transport is mainly expensive, especially for those disadvantaged communities. And the safety on the roads, it's a big issue for cyclists. And there are also this car culture and the status symbol of the car that has to be. Can you go on slide 13?
The big thing that we came to realize is we need to have a movement both from the top down, from the bottom up, almost like a rebel movement to make cycling more hip and to bring it bring into the culture. So things that we've discussed in our brainstorm yesterday is about what is the other factor that we can bring in, and we came to clothing and apparel for cyclists. So because it will mean that when you cycle to work, you're cycling clothing, and you need to change. But if we can design something where people feel comfortable to be at work with the cycling clothing, and also then that it can serve both functions, and also that create a culture, underground culture, that will be noticed, and also there will be pride associated with that.
Yeah, because the main thing about cycling is that you feel that you are part of the community, and so you also, if you share, for example, the same route to work with other people, you also feel safe, and safety was one of the main problems to people why they're not cyclists, because they don't feel safe on the street. So we mainly wanted to stress on the interaction that with a bicycle, that riding a bicycle you can create with the people on the street, and a sense of belonging to the community can also encourage you to shift from the car culture to a more sustainable way of mobility.
So what we need is we need the buy-in from the media, but we also have to give them a reason to support us. And through this, we feel that there would be a recognition for it. Also, our city fathers have also decided to open up some bicycle lanes, which is a quite progressive step in our city. But they're not widely used. So we need to also promote the use of the bicycle lanes. So it really means that, as we said, it's for everybody from every side, all corners, to work together and to promote healthier and more economically viable options. And yeah,
that's it.
That's our presentation.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah.